Hello everyone. It is Wednesday night. Welcome to Facebook Live in the Hive. Hope you all are doing well this evening. Please leave a comment when you arrive so that I know that you're here. I am making some notes. I want to leave you with some links tonight when we say goodbye, so I'm writing those down. All right. And as you arrive, say hello. Hope y'all have had a great Wednesday. Hi, Gail. How are you? Thank you for being here. Hi, Margaret. Thank you for being here. All right. Hi, Sonia. How are you? Thank you for sharing. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. All right. Let's see who else joins us this evening. Hi, Mary Kay. How are you? Hi, Donna. How are you doing? We had an amazing time at retreat last weekend. We missed you, Donna. We missed you in person. If you did order the retreat in a box, it should go out by Friday. I picked up some boxes today from the post office and we're just about ready to ship. So it'll probably be Friday, okay, but they'll be in the mail. Hi, Tina, how are you? The precious grandsons are awesome. I went to music class with them this morning. And then they came over for lunch and they took their naps here and then they left about 5. So I didn't get very much done stamping wise, but I had an awesome day. So they are doing very well, thank you. Hi, Kisha, how are you? I wish you could have been with us, Donna. We have set the date for the next retreat. It will be in the spring, and I believe it's March 6th, 7th, and 8th. I left my calendar on the other counter. I think I'm gonna run get my calendar because I always refer to it. So, but I just thought of something. This is a 2025 calendar. So I'm still not going to have the March dates, but I believe it's 6th, 7th, and 8th. If someone wants to double check that for me, that would be great. It will be here in Richmond, Virginia. And I already have quite a few signed up. So registration will open in another month or so after I get all the early birds. And, you know, you don't want to wait too long. So I had such a great time. Oh, by the way, the boys, the grandsons, came to visit on Saturday evening at the retreat. And they were a hoot. They were so busy and they were very entertaining and they drew the prize tickets and we would announce the winner and they would go and take the winner their prize. And we had some amazing prizes this weekend. One of the husbands for one of our retreat attendees, Lisa's husband, he prepared our meal for us on Friday evening. And we had pizza as an appetizer. Then we had manicotti and spaghetti, baked spaghetti. So that was delicious. And then Nancy cooked for us the rest of the weekend. And that was also equally delicious. And we did not go hungry during this retreat. I can tell you that. Oh, good. Donna has checked the dates. All right. Yes, those boys were in full form. They are so incredibly busy. So, but gosh, we had so much fun. We really and truly did. I woke up Saturday morning and I was getting ready for the day and I thought, I had fun yesterday. And yesterday referring to last Friday when it was the first day of the retreat. So it was just the best, and we just had the best ladies there, and it was just fun. So thank you all for making it a success and for coming and for making it fun. You all made it fun. So we will do it again. We will do it in 6 months. It will be in March. Hi, Deborah. How are you? And you know what? Our cup is full. Our hearts are full. And that'll last us till about March 6th. And then we'll be ready again. So anyway. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get started. Welcome to Be Creative Stamping and Facebook Live in the Hive. My name is Tammy Shia. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'm delighted that you're joining us this evening. Hi, Lisa. We were just talking about your hubby. Lisa's husband also, not only did he cook for us, and it was amazing, but he also made a ribbon holder that you hang on your wall. And Margaret actually won it on Friday night. So anyway, and it was just beautiful, just a beautiful ribbon holder for you to hang your ribbon on. You can hang it on the wall. He honestly needs to take orders because I'm pretty sure we'd all buy one. So anyway, thank you, Lisa, and thank you, Brett, for donating that and for cooking for us. So, all right, tonight, lots of things to share with you, okay? First, product shares. Our product shares are, the deadline to order is tonight, okay? And after tonight's broadcast, I'm going to give you the link so you can go there and sign up, okay? Now, it's going to include a paper share, all right? And it includes every designer paper in the mini, as well as specialty paper. And it includes 3 papers that are part of the online exclusives. Then there's a ribbon share, and then there's an embellishment share, okay? So you can buy 1 share, you can buy 2 of the 3 shares, or you can purchase all 3. So you can kind of mix and match. Shipping is priority mail. I like priority mail because it has a tracking number. I can track it for you. You can track it. And I'm not sure what that will be, probably about $12.50, depending on where you live in the U.S. And postage has gone up too. So that's kind of, you know, we have to put that in the, throw that in the mix as well. So product shares are awesome. It is a great way to get a sampling of every single item in the mini. And a lot of my ladies do that. If you're ordering the paper share, it is cut 6 by 6 inches. It's going to be in a lovely white pizza box. It will have a label on top with the mini catalog on top of that. So everything is labeled. Everything has item numbers. I put paper dividers between each package of paper. So a lot goes into this. As a matter of fact, I will be placing the order in the morning, and we start processing the product shares next Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then they will ship next Friday. Now, I'm doing everything as fast as I can to get it to you because, as many of you know, I have a daughter getting married on September 27th. So I'm really trying to get all my work done by next Friday, okay? So I'll be live next Wednesday night with you. And then the week of the wedding is September 22nd. And I will not be live on Wednesday, September 24th, okay? We have lots of family coming in, and we will be making trips to the airport on Wednesday. And we've got to get this girl married. So we're getting very, very excited for her and for our family. And I'm sure there'll be some photos just, you know, around on Facebook after the wedding. All right, so Lisa says product shares are awesome. You have not gotten one in the past. You really need to get one. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you so much. I love those comments because that encourages me to keep doing it. And it's such a wonderful way to get a sampling of everything. Don't we want everything in the mini? I know I do, right? So it's a great way to get a nice sampling of things, all right? So that's product shares. I'm going to have a link for you. I'll put it right on this blog post, okay? What is next? Let's look at the make and takes that we made this weekend during retreat. we used the Traditions of Christmas suite. It has 2 bundles in it. It has a lovely ribbon, embellishments, and gorgeous designer paper. So I'm going to show you the cards that we made. And for those of you who are getting Retreat in the Box, these are the cards you're going to be making, okay? So it's very exciting for you to see them, all right? All right, so I'm going to switch over to my hands. And this is Make and Take number 1. And of course, if you did the Retreat in a Box, this will be die cut for you as well as this, okay? So things will be die cut for you. Isn't that pretty? And then our second one, oh, by the way, this was in the mini catalog. I cased this from the mini, okay? A lot of my cards were cased from the mini. So that's Make and Take number 1. And then this was our Make and Take number 2, right here. And this bouquet is actually cut from the designer paper. And then we added Wink of Stella right on the designer paper, just like that. And then Make and Take number 3 is right here. Again, these are die cuts from the bundles in the Traditions of Christmas. And I know I've got plastic on them just to protect them, but it can be a little hard for you guys to see. I know that. Here's another one, Make and Take number 4. This time we stamped the floral bouquet and then we colored it. So we used Petal Pink and we used Old Olive, and I believe this was Real Red. So, oh, and the background is embossed with the wreath embossing folder. So I don't know how well you can see that, but it was embossed. Isn't that pretty? Another one, and this was from the catalog too. This one we stamped. There are actually 2 separate bouquets here. So we stamped them, Petal Pink. I think we used Real Red. We may have used Cherry Cobbler. I can't remember now. And then we stamped it in Old Olive. And then we used some designer paper. So, and then the last one, which I love this banner. We used the banner dies. And then we cut out the designer paper using the banner die. And then these we fussy cut and just kind of layered them on top. And we fussy cut them from the designer paper. And then we put Wink of Stella on them. So that was card number 6. So if you're getting Retreat in a Box, that's what you have to look forward to. All right? Okay, so that brings me to the next thing, which is my Be Inspired virtual card club. It is open right now for registration. Registration will close on Wednesday. Let me give you the date. It's a Monday. It's Monday, September 15th. So that will be the last day to sign up. I am going to give you a link tonight for you to sign up for virtual club, okay? I'm going to show you the cards this month for virtual club, all right? So hang on 1 second. And we'll get these cards out here. All right. So here's the sneak peek of the Be Inspired virtual card club, okay? These are the cards. We're making 4 cards. You will be creating 4 card designs, but you're making 8 cards. So for each card design, you get to make 2 of that card. So 8 cards, 8 envelopes, half package of designer paper. You get a roll of ribbon and a full package of dimensionals. And on top of that, you are going to receive a resource page with video tutorials plus a supply list. And so you'll probably have 5 to 6 video tutorials, okay, on your resource page. So let me show those to you in person. Here is a fun fold right here. And so we stamped the pumpkins and the gourd, and we used we colored in Stampin' Blends, used Wink of Stella, and then it opens like this. The next one, I honestly don't know what to call this. I kind of invented my own fun fold. I stamped the tree, colored the tree, and then cut out this die to layer on top of the tree. And then stamped this beautiful verse, which you're going to see the stamp set in a minute. Then you open it up and you can write a message. So if you're looking at it, you're looking at it like this. Maybe it's a Z fold, but I kind of tweaked it and just did my own measurements with it. But I loved this piece of paper and I really wanted it to show. And so that's why we're doing this fun fold. Then we have this darling card with the deer. So this is another card. And then the last card, we've used the earthen metallic specialty paper. By the way, this paper is in the product share. And then we stamped the leaves and acorns and colored those and did some Wink of Stella. And we used the lovely ribbon that comes with it. And tonight, you're going to see this close up and in action. I'm going to show you how I cut that, okay? So those are the virtual cards for Virtual Club this month. It will close on Monday, September 15th. You do get a wonderful array of product. And by the way, this kit will ship early this month because of their family wedding. So, it probably will ship by next Friday, believe it or not. Everything I'm trying to get out the door by next Friday. So you'll be getting it super early because I usually don't ship until the last week of the month. And this time I am shipping a week and a half early, okay? So it's $45. That does include shipping to your address, okay? Along with all the product and all the tutorials. It's kind of like having a mini class with me in the comfort of your home. All right. So I'm going to leave you that link. It's not too late to sign up. Don't miss out on this. By the way, when you sign up, you get a free gift. It comes in the first package. And then when you have been in club 6 consecutive months, you'll receive a goodie bag filled with Stampin' Up! Product. And the value is $25. So there's just so many perks to doing this. And it's nice that the cards arrive and everything's cut and it's ready for you to stamp and put together and learn some new fun folds too. And Carol, you are right. My worker bees are helping me like crazy. I want to especially thank Mary Kay. We knocked out 3 of the 4 cards yesterday. So tomorrow we have 1 card to cut for, and then next Tuesday we start product shares. So we are really working hard to get it done. And we had a really long day yesterday. We started at 10 a.m. We broke quickly for lunch, and then we worked till 5. So there is it's quite an undertaking, but it's fun too. All right. Gosh, I think that's everything. I'm going to show you how to make a blessing box tonight. I know I've done this in the past, and I always do it in the fall. I'm anxious to share this with you because it will coordinate nicely with these autumn cards. So if you sign up for club, you're going to also have enough paper that you can make some blessing boxes, okay? So I like to have a coordinating box each month to go with your club. So I've been talking a ton. So any questions for me right now about anything that's going on? All right, you know we've got some new kits, so I should show you those. This one, by the way, absolutely darling. No stamping involved. It's just putting together, but they are the cutest darn cards. And we gave some away. We gave one away this weekend as a prize. So anyway, super, super cute. I'm supposed to, here it is right here. World Card Making Day is coming up. And that's going to be the first Saturday of October. And I'm going to check the date for you, October 4th. And if you purchase this, you're going to be all set and you are going to be ready for World Card Making Day, because this is what we're going to be creating. These cards are darling. They have birds on them and you get that lovely organizer, and it's a very sturdy box. I had to take a quick break there just to get some water in. But anyway, that's what's going on. Those are the newest kits. So keep that in mind when you're shopping, and go ahead and mark World Card Making Day on your calendar. You can also sign up now for that, which I will put a link for that. It's free, by the way. It's a free event. So let me put World Card Making Day link. All right. So we got that. Okay. Well, I think we're about ready to begin. Let's see. Let's start with the Autumn Trois Suite, okay? All right. This is one of the bundles in the Autumn Suite. You're going to find that Autumn Suite in your I want to call it the Holiday Mini, but we'll just call it the Mini, okay? So it is in the Mini. It has a nice spread. You'll find it on pages 39, which is right here, okay? This is 39. You'll find it on page 40. You're going to find it on page 41, 42, and 43, okay? So this suite has 2 bundles in it, okay? So this is the first bundle, and it's called Amber Autumn. And we're going to be working with this bundle this evening. The second bundle is Autumn Trees. So it's got some wonderful, wonderful product that goes with it. It does have embellishments. So here are the embellishments in 2 sizes, and they're called streaked dots. By the way, when you sign up for Virtual Club, I label your embellishments and I label your ribbon for you. So here are the embellishments, and here's that labeled ribbon, because it's real hard to keep up with everything is coming from, okay? So that's the ribbon, and now I'm going to show you the paper. That's the paper, and it's lovely. You actually receive 3 sheets of each design. Okay, so keep that in mind. It's a little bit different. So it's 3 sheets of each double-sided design, okay? All right. All right, so that's the Autumn Suite right there. And I just saw a comment. So Carol, I want to tell you about that real quick. Carol Hodges has asked about the ornament kits. She wants to plan ahead. And I did create an event today, Carol, and for everyone else. Our ornament workshop is Sunday, and it is November 23rd, okay? So I would imagine for my online customers, I will ship your kits probably the week of Thanksgiving. So you might have them by Thanksgiving weekend and you can start putting them together. I don't know what set we're using yet. I will decide October 1. I need to get through the wedding. So I'll let you know the set then, and then I'll let you know how much the extra kits are going to be, as well as the class fee. Okay, but that was a great question. I'm glad you mentioned that, Carol, because it'll be here before we know it. So, okay, well, I want to share some measurements with you. Let me show you the box first, and then I'll share the measurements, and I'll be really quiet so you can get a screenshot, okay? All right, so this is our Blessing Mix box. It's actually 1 sheet of cardstock. Here it is. And you're gonna see that beautiful designer paper. I positioned everything so that I could get those gourds in there. I really wanted to see those. And then this, of course, is the poem. We'll go over this in detail tonight. I'm going to show you how to print it and how to cut it so that it will fit on your blessing box, okay? Again, the greeting is from one of the bundles. I believe it's Autumn Amber. So this is our box, and my computer actually has the measurements on it. So let me get to that and I can show you. All right, let's see. Yeah, so I am live on my computer. I'm just checking to make sure. Okay, so I'm switching over now. Well, I think I'm switching over. Why are you not switching over? Hang on a second. I'm not sure why. Well, it says it's running, but it's not showing. All right, hang on. Let me try one thing, ladies. Hang on. I think I figured out what it was. Not sure if it's going to work. If not, if it does, yep, it's working. Oh, yay. Okay, hang on. All right. Okay, so here are your measurements for your blessing mix box. Now I want to explain the measurements, okay? The box sample I just showed you, okay? Those measurements are going to be a tiny bit different. It's just the front panel that's different, okay? It's just the front panel. Now, at the very top, those are the measurements we're going to use tonight to make our box, okay? So the measurements at the top are what we're going to do live, and then the measurements below are the sample that I'm showing you. Does that make sense? All right. Kisha says, I am struggling with the DSP. It's so beautiful. I know it is. All right, I'm going to be really quiet so y'all can grab a screenshot, okay? Okay, everyone. I hope that was sufficient and that gave you enough time. I will post it later, okay? It will be posted later. Okay. All righty, so I'm just going to move that computer out of the way and we are about to get started, okay? I know we're going to need our paper trimmer, so I'm going to pull that out. And we are going to be starting with the actual, you know where I think we'll start? I'm going to start with the dies in Amber Autumn. I want you to see those, okay? So hang tight, let me grab it. And let's just look at the bundle close up because there's some things I want to show you. All right. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and zoom in a little bit. There we go. All right, so we've got the leaves and acorn, and we've got the pumpkins and the gourd, and then we've got 5 lovely greetings, okay? So this is the stamp set we're really going to focus on tonight. And then right here, these are the Amber Autumn dies. And this die here cuts out this. And this die will cut out the pumpkins. And then you get some extra leaves. And then you also get this piece, okay? So Mary Kay and I I feel like we cut 1,000 yesterday. I think we cut about 40. So I'm gonna show you some tips and tricks that worked for us that really seemed to help us. And this is actually going to go on the front panel of the blessing box. But let's do this first. And then once we've cut this out, we'll go ahead and we'll stamp the acorns. And then we'll put the box together and we are going to embellish it with all these lovely little things that we're making, okay? All right, so measurements for this. You're going to want a panel, and this is very vanilla cardstock. It needs to be 5.5 inches by 4 inches, okay? And of course, you need the die. So I'm gonna bring in my Stampin' Cut emboss machine, and I'm wondering if I need to zoom out, but I think I'm okay. All right, so we're using our basic plates, 1, 2, and 3, okay? Then what we're going to do is, and we found this extremely helpful, okay? We have a piece of wax paper, and I didn't measure this, I just cut a piece, okay? So just big enough to kind of cover your die. And we found that if you took the wax paper and rubbed this die really, really well, it helped so much, okay? So, I mean, this really was the secret ingredients for us, okay? And I'm rubbing more than I need to be rubbing, but I just want you to have an idea. Okay, so when we cut this out, it's going to leave a border. So we definitely want to center this. So I'm going to center it about there. I'm actually going to cut it on an angle, okay? All right. And we're going to put another cutting plate on top. And you know my method. It's hold your breath and roll it through. So we're going to roll this die through. And then we'll check the back of it just to see if it has cut completely. So you can see like right here, it still needs to be cut, okay? So I don't even know where I had it before, but guess what? I'm just gonna position it that way, give it a little more angle, and then we're gonna roll it through again. And I think with the second roll, we'll find that that is all we need to do. Let's check it again. I think we've got it. All right, so then you're gonna gently peel this off. If you have trouble peeling it off, take your big tool and pop out those little pieces, okay? All right, so here we go. And then you get your piece that looks like this. Isn't this beautiful? And you're just gonna poke out all the little pieces of paper. So this is what it ends up looking like when it is completely done. Now, of course, I still have lots to pop out here. So let me show you what it looks like when it is completely popped out. And I'm actually, let's put it on a piece of paper so you can really see it. And then I'll zoom in and you can just see how beautiful that is. How gorgeous is that? Isn't that lovely? So definitely wax paper helps, rolling it through twice, cutting it on a diagonal. You know, just instead of laying the die straight on the cutting pad, just cut it at an angle. And that seems to help quite a bit, okay? All right, so the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna stamp. We're gonna get everything prepped and ready for our box, okay? Get all the little pieces done. And then we're gonna use black memento ink because we are coloring. And we're gonna use this image. And then this paper's big enough, we can stamp it however we want. And then this is the detail that you're going to get. Isn't that lovely? Now I did the black memento because we are coloring. All right, so let's get our coloring done. What I like to do is, after stamping, I really like to go on and die cut it. Because if my die slips, let's say I've stamped it and then I color it, I roll it through the machine, and then the die has slipped. All that work I did coloring just went to waste. So I like to stamp and I like to cut it out, okay? So that way, I know it's cut out just like I want it. And then, you know, it's just easier that way. All right, I'm gonna start with some dark old olive, okay? And let's see what happens here. Now, I haven't colored these leaves in a couple of weeks, so I don't even remember what I did the first time. But Stampin' Up! Has already done some shading for us, okay? See those little black lines? That's some good old shading for us. And so we're gonna use that. And I don't have my glasses on. I think I'm gonna have to put them on. Okay, and you can even do the vein of the leaf. Now, I can go back and add more dark old olive, all right? But let's just start there. And now I'm going to color, and my tip is beginning to fray, and so I don't know how much I will be able to color with my brush tip. So to give me more control over it, I'm going to use the fine point for this, okay? All right, and if anyone has questions, now is a great time to ask them. You can also use Mossy Meadow, okay? That's another option. I really didn't want to go too dark, so I thought I would just start with this just to see how it does. I have a feeling I will add more color to this. Also, the leaves that we just die cut, that panel, I forgot what I was going to tell you about it. Oh, it fits on a card front. It fits beautifully on a card front, okay? So keep that in mind. All right. All right. So I might go back now and I might add a little more dark to it. I want to see what happens here. So I'm just kind of playing around with it. And then you can go back with your light and you can kind of blend that in a little bit. Add a little bit more there. So just kind of play with the color. You could even add a little Mossy Meadow on it if you want. Okay. And if you're in Virtual Club this weekend, you will be coloring, okay? We're going to use dark pecan pie. You're actually going to be coloring this image. I'm going to use the dark here, okay? To do that shell. Do that first. And I think I will go ahead and do the branch in dark pecan as well. Okay. And now we'll go in with the light here. And this tip also is not doing too well now. All right. Okay, so our leaf is done. And so that's what you'll want to do with that. March Retreat Best is March 6th, 7th, and 8th of 2026, okay? So it will be here. It's going to be that very first weekend in March. Thank you for asking. Okay, all right, so here we go. We are now ready to create our box, all right? And I might need to zoom out for this so you can see the entire sheet of cardstock. All right. We're gonna need this arm, so I'm gonna extend that as well. All right, I'm gonna move some things off here. Okay. Alrighty, so our box needs to measure 8.5 inches by 9.5 inches, all right? So we already know this is cut at 8.5 inches because that's just a standard sheet of cardstock. We're gonna rotate it and we're gonna cut it at 9.5 inches, all right? You are going to have this left over and you do not need it for this project, okay? So I will put that with my scraps. Okay, we are on the 9.5 inch side. So while we're here, let's go ahead and score at 4 inches. Make sure you're using the scoring blade, okay? All right. And then we're going to score again at 5.5 inches. All right, so remember you're on the 9.5 inch side. We're scoring at 4 inches and 5.5 inches, okay? Now we're gonna turn to the 8.5 inch side and we're gonna score at 1.5 inches. And all of these measurements should have been on the screen that I showed you just a few minutes ago. All right, so we've scored at 1.5. We are going to slide the cardstock all the way over and score at 7 inches. Okay? All right. And I'm gonna fold my score lines in hopes that you can see the score lines better. I know it gets really hard when we are on dark paper. So right here on this score line, I am going to cut up to that first score line. I'm creating a flap to the box, all right? So you should have something that looks just like this, okay? We're gonna rotate around to the other side and we're gonna do the very same thing. We are going to cut right up to that score line. And I'll fold again for you to see. Okay, so this is what it looks like. Now let's go ahead, we'll put some tear and tape on here. And where I put the tear and tape is where the front of the box is going to be. And ladies, you just need 2 pieces of tear and tape. That is it, okay? All right. Now, we are going to leave this unassembled right now because it's just easier to create the front of the box. And we're creating the front panel, okay? So, I am going to take this lovely little leaf that we cut and we are going to adhere it to the front panel. Isn't that going to be pretty? Look at that. That's going to be the front of your box. All right. I'm going to use some Tombow liquid glue. And I'm going to put it in the corners. I might even put a little bit on the edges. Everybody with me so far? I haven't lost you yet. All right. And this does not have a top or a bottom or, you know, certain sides. So you can adhere this any way you want. There's no top or bottom to it. I'm going to give that a few minutes to dry. Now remember, these sides are going to be turned in, okay? This becomes the front of the box. I am really liking this. I have not made one of these as a box, and I'm really, really liking it. All right. So that's the first thing we're going to do. Then we're going to be taking, are we going to do this or are we going to, I'm thinking to myself, by the way. Okay. So what we're going to do here is, I really don't want to take up too much space because this is so, so pretty. So I am trying to decide, maybe I will just use one circle. This is from Stylish Shapes, and it is one of the circles. Let me measure this circle so I can better tell you. 2.5 inches after it's cut, okay? We're gonna pop this up. I just don't want to cover up too much of these leaves, okay? All right, and I'm actually gonna put it over to the side as well, all right? So we'll see some of those pretty, pretty leaves. Although, y'all can tell that I'm making this on the fly, right? Let me try one more thing before I make the final decision. Do I want the poem? I think on this box, I'm not going to do the blessing poem. And I think what I'll do is, if I can, I'm going to lift this back up and I am going to center it. Okay? I almost have it. Hold your breath and it'll come up. All right. There we go. Okay. So now we've gotten a little messy. Let me see if I have another circle. I do. This circle got some glue or fingerprints on it. I don't like it. I want this to be elegant. So I am going to use another circle. By the way, this is part of the suite. This paper is called Earthen Metallic, and you get 3 sheets in a package. This stuff is beautiful. All right, and you could certainly put it over to the side. I'm going to go ahead and just put it in the middle. I am going to add some ribbon. And then I can add this ribbon. I'm going to turn it like this. And maybe I need a glue dot for that. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put it on the back. I'm going to put it like this, okay? We're going to put it here. So let me get a dimensional. And this dimensional is going to hold this ribbon in place. Okay. And we're going to add more dimensionals. We'll trim it in a minute. We'll trim that ribbon in a second. I will still tell you all about the Blessing Mix poem, how to cut it, and you'll be able to pick up the file as well. All right, so let's see here. We'll do that, okay? And then we're going to be adding a strip, and we're going to stamp Grateful for You, and I think we're going to do it in Mossy Meadow. Now, let's see if we can get this straight, all right? Yay, I got it straight. And then I'm going to cut this on the angle, and then we'll pop this up as well using a dimensional. I'm going to put these dimensionals close to each other. And before popping those on, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to add a little bit of Wink of Stella. The other nice thing about this box is your cards will fit in here, but not with the envelopes, okay? So I do want you to know that they did not fit, and I didn't have time to create a new box to fit the envelope, so, but you'll still have a beautiful blessing box. And we don't have the poem on the box, but you could certainly add the poem inside. Okay. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put our box together. I'm going to cut this ribbon on the diagonal. And now we're ready to assemble. All right, and assembly is so easy. You are going to peel off the tear and tape, all right? And then you're going to bring up the back, and you're going to bring up the front, and you're going to line up these two. Okay. And then you just put it together. So it really could not be any easier than this. And now you have a lovely little box that you can put some note cards in, or you can include the blessing mix. So the blessing mix is right here. I'm going to read it to you. We could have put it on the box, but it would cover up these leaves. And they're just gorgeous, and I just didn't want to do that, okay? So this is the blessing mix poem, and we'll talk about it in a second. The bugles are a symbol of cornucopia, a horn of plenty. The pretzels represent arms folded in thanks and prayer. The candy corn reminds us that during the first winter, the pilgrims were allowed only 5 kernels of corn per day because of food was scarce. The fruit is a reminder that Thanksgiving is the celebration of the harvest. The peanuts represent seeds, the potential of the bounteous harvest of the next season if they are planted and well tended. All right. So what you do is you can take a plastic bag, a cello bag, a sandwich bag. You would add bugles to the bag. You would add the pretzels, candy corn. The fruit is any dried fruit. It could be like cranberries, for example. And then you would add peanuts. And then you would tie the bag closed with ribbon, and you would stick it inside this box. and you would bless someone with this, okay? So this is exactly what you can do with this box. I did give you the measurements for this box this evening with the designer paper and the Cajun Craze cardstock layer. And this is with stylish shapes again. Love that. And that's Cajun Craze ink. And it's a Mossy Meadow box. So here are both boxes. I think you can see why I didn't put the blessing mix on this, because it would just cover it completely up. And the other nice thing is you can get cards in your blessing box if you want to, but not envelopes, okay? Now let's talk a few minutes about the blessing mix, because I'm going to be able to give you a PDF in a day or two, all right? Okay, so the first thing that I like to do is, and you can do this on scrap paper, you're going to print the blessing mix on scrap paper, because you're going to practice trimming the blessing mix, okay? So let's do some practice to make sure we know what we're doing. We are going to put the top in, and we are going to trim it at 7/8 of an inch. I'm sorry. Yep, I hate when I do that to you guys, but I've given you 7/8 of an inch, which is 2 lines before 1 inch. So that's 1 inch, and I'm going to go into 7/8, and I am going to trim it. All right? Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the blessing mix so that I can read it. And I want to cut this off at 3 inches. So I'm actually going to turn it all the way around and cut it at the 3-inch mark. Okay? So I've gotten rid of that. Now I'm turning it back around. And again, I'm going to trim it at 3 inches. Okay, and then this will measure 2.5 inches, which is exactly what we need. We're going to rotate this, and then we're going to trim at 3.5 inches. So 3.5 inches, and now you have your blessing mix poem, okay? Now let's look at the next one. It looks like we could trim off just a tad. Let's take off 1/4 inch and see what happens. That's perfect. Then we'll turn this all the way around and we'll cut it at 3.5 inches. All right. So by doing that, I'm able to get 2 of these out of 1 sheet of cardstock. Now I like to take very vanilla cardstock and put it in my printer. I don't have a fancy printer. It's an Epson, and I just lay this in the top tray right on top of the paper, and it goes through just fine. So we've done our practice cutting, and now we're ready to do the real thing, okay? But practice first on scrap paper, all right? Got to do that first, and then when you get to printing your real paper, you won't mess up, all right? All right. Margaret said she's not good at rotation. It makes her dizzy. I'm sorry, Margaret. But here is the blessing mix, and you can put all the snacks inside and bless someone with that during the holidays. You're going to see here that I use those streak dots, which is part of the suite. All right. Now, if you are one of my virtual club members, you will find tonight's video on your resource page. It's just another added little touch that I like to do for you for being in my club. So if you're still interested in my Be Inspired Virtual Card Club, I will leave a link after tonight's post so that you can sign up. Again, a sneak peek of what's to come this month, all right? And at the end of this month, I'll announce what we're doing next month, okay? Any questions for me this evening? I won't be mailing these out because they're too difficult to mail, all right? Anyone have questions for me before I sign off? I will be with you next Wednesday night. So go ahead and mark your calendar for that. And it will be at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And here are the blessing boxes. So 2 different things you can do. This can also be a blessing box. You'll print and cut your tag. Your tag can go inside with your treat, or you can put cards in it, okay? So either one, you've got 2 nice little blessing boxes. And while we're at it, let's add some bling to this box because we did not do that. All right. Thank you, Corinne. I'm glad you like the box. Thank you so much. And whoops, we can take this one. We'll put it on the darker circle. And then I'll take a little one and maybe I'll put it on the acorn. All right, and I'll show you guys close up. You ladies are so welcome. I had a wonderful time with you this evening. It's so nice to see everyone, and thank you for being here and sharing Wednesday night with me. I will see you next Wednesday night, okay, at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Have a great week, everyone. I'll leave the links for you, and I hope you'll join me. Take care. Bye.